I've got an XA2 here with a oscillator issue. I know this because the oscillator in self-timer mode is way too fast. I don't know how to fix this issue yet, but I've used it as an example to open up the unit. So in order to open up the unit, we need to remove the bottom plate, the front dust cover, and the top plate. And I will be walking through each of those steps. You'll need a J000 bit, ideally. That's really the main tool that you need to get to the top cover. Additionally, if you need to go further than getting to the top cover, you'll need to use the soldering iron to get to remove the lens assembly. So let's get into it. On the bottom of the device, there are 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th screw is hidden underneath the lever. So removing those 5 screws will enable us to open up the bottom unit. These 2 screws are short, these 3 screws are long, just keep track of which screws go where. Okay, now that all the screws are removed, I do like to open up the front cover just a little bit before removing the bottom plate. And so you can just lift off. It might get snagged here in the corner, but just lift off. And here we've accessed the bottom of the XA2. I've got the batteries in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove those, put them aside, and now we have the bottom off. Okay, so next step here would be to remove the front cover, and in order to do that, it's best to pry off in a motion like this. When you remove the front cover, there's going to be a little bearing here that might want to fly away. That's very important to maintain the operation of the click, so make sure that you still have that bearing. Okay, best thing to do is just start pushing in this direction here. You'll hear a click that comes off, and here you can see that bearing that I was talking about. So just keep track of that bearing. Okay, now the front cover is off. Be very careful with the lens because now it's exposed. You may want to cover that up. I like to grab a little piece of tape, and I grab a piece of PEC pad and cover that so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, next we're going to remove the top cover. So in order to remove the top cover, we need to remove the wind lever, and then there's going to be 2 screws underneath the wind lever and 1 screw over here. Okay, so start by removing the wind lever. And here you can see that there is a screw right there. I like to keep the screw in the wind assembly just because it can get a little finicky trying to replace the screw with the little leaf spring that's in there. And once you have the rewind knob off, there are 2 screws under the rewind knob. And the last screw is just right beside the viewfinder. Okay, once 3 screws are off, the top cover can be removed by just pulling up, and it should come off. The top cover is attached via these 3 wires here. So if you need to fully remove the top cover, you need to desolder those 3 wires. I'm just going to leave that aside for here. Now, I didn't take off the back cover here, which might be good to do. So if you need to open up the back cover, you of course need to pull up on the rewind lever. So you can reattach the rewind lever and pull up. I like to use a pair of pliers here, and I'll just pull up to get that out open. To remove this door here, in case you need to do some light seal replacement or anything, there's this bar right here. You can grab onto that bar and remove it. Like sometimes it's easier to do it when it's closed. Now that I was able to move the bar a little bit, I can just pull this out. Now this might be more difficult if you've got a unit with a little bit of a patina, to say the least. But here we go. Now we've removed the back cover. What I'm going to do is show how to remove the viewfinder. The viewfinder is here, and there's one screw that holds the viewfinder in. And then if you look on the side here, there's a little lever that's connected to this guy over here that controls the flash power, and that's connected to the viewfinder. So when you turn on the flash, what happens is this lever pushes over. It's connected to the viewfinder, which removes the part of the viewfinder which shows the flash symbol inside the viewfinder. So in order to remove the viewfinder, we just need to take off this screw and put that aside. And then to remove the viewfinder, in this case it just came up. You can move it over to the side. And here you can see that lever that I talked about. So it does connect to here on the viewfinder, and it does move out to show the flash symbol in the viewfinder when you trigger the flash. Okay, from here you do have access to the top board. So if you're doing some adjustments to the oscillator or to the exposure timing, there are some variable resistors on the board that you can adjust. In a lot of cases, this might just be where you need to get to, but in case you need to go deeper, you'll need to start removing some solder connections. But before we do that, I do want to demonstrate the removal of the front cover here. Now I've opened up a number of XA2s, and I've seen a number of conditions where the front cover only has one screw or both screws. A lot of the XA2s, which are clearly have never been disassembled before, only seem to have one screw. So I don't know if this was a later cost-saving measure or something, but yeah, it's very peculiar that not all XA2s have both screws. But in order to remove this front cover, there could be two screws on the front. In addition to those two screws, there's one also accessible in the film compartment. So in order to remove those two screws, you'll need to remove those two screws in order to remove this cover. Okay, so let's go ahead. And again, you might be very careful with the lens because it's exposed. Okay, that screw is unscrewed, but sometimes it just doesn't want to come out. So once both screws are loose, you can just remove the cover. And in a lot of cases, I like to just, the screw's right here. So in a lot of cases, I just like to poke it through just so I can get the screw later and keep it aside and organized. Let's talk about some troubleshooting areas once you remove the front cover. So I've definitely seen in some XA2s, this guy right here covers the photodiode, and it's connected to the ISO select. Its function seems to be to attenuate some of the light that gets onto the photodiode, to kind of act as a mechanical and optical metering tool to change the exposure. And in a lot of cases, I've seen this guy come off just because of age and the adhesive degrades. So in order to, attach this guy, some rubber cement, like plyo bond would help to reattach this guy. It's very straightforward. This is also a great place to debug electrical issues. The negative battery terminal actually connects directly to this part of the flexible PCB. That's part of the lens assembly. So if you're trying to test whether or not your camera actually has power, you can run a continuity check between the negative battery terminal here and the ground port right here, ground guy right here. For a positive check to see whether or not the ground has, the camera has power, this is the red wire that connects to the positive of the battery terminal. And it attaches, that wire connects all the way up to this guy right here. So if you're trying to test whether or not your camera has power, you would want to check the connection between this guy right here and the positive battery terminal, and this connection right here and the negative part of the battery terminal. If you run into an issue where you have no power, it's possible that the solder joint between the negative terminal and the negative ground connection here is broken. Usually corrosion is the cause. If that's the case, then you'll need to remove this lens assembly. Okay, so I think that covers most of what I want to cover in this video. But again, be very careful with the lens assembly. Now that it's fully exposed, it really is the highest part of the camera that's here. So, putting it face down does run the risk of damaging the lens. So some type of cover to help prevent that is a good idea.